Hi, I'm Charlie Allen, CEO of MY01. The company was started basically off a problem related to perfusion monitoring. It was a problem that Dr. Harvey, orthopedic surgeon from Montreal, has always had an issue with the problem ever since he was in residency. He didn't really understand why we were dealing with compartment syndrome and perfusion related issues uh, with the way we were doing it, which was very much based on clinical science. I thought there would be a better way. And so when he told me about this issue and what we have to do right now, the invasiveness of the procedure it needs to go through with we call it fasciotomy, uh, I also got really passionate about it. And we thought we could figure out a better sensor technology that could address it.
My name is Andrew Morris. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer at MY01, and I joined MY01 just about a year ago, actually, after meeting Charlie at this meeting, at the LSI meeting, and really took some time to look at the company, and it was really a personal story that led me to join the company. After nearly 20 years in orthopedics, I wanted to join a company that really was going to deliver true value to patients and really the story of Adeline and her family are why I decided to join this mission. Adeline, at the time that I came to know her, was a 7-year-old girl, and she fell off a swing like many 7-year-old girls do, like my 4 and 6-year-old girls may someday. And she suffered a supracondylar fracture, so she broke her elbow and went to the hospital. She actually had missed diagnosis of compartment syndrome several times by many clinicians. And Adeline actually ended up at Children's Hospital Los Angeles. And at the time, she was in extreme pain and nobody really knew what was going on. She happened to get extremely lucky, and the surgeon on call, attending surgeon on call, happened to walk by her in the pre-op bay and saw what was going on, realized she had compartment syndrome, and did an emergent fasciotomy on her, which is quite invasive and happened to save her arm. So Adeline ended up having a really traumatic experience and a long road back to recovery. Fortunately for her, she did recover and is doing well today, and has been just a tremendous success story. So much so that she actually dressed up as this surgeon for Halloween. It's now her hero, and she wants to be a surgeon like the surgeon that saved her arm. Um, but it's stories like those, and actually getting to know Adeline and getting to know her mother. Her mother said, if there's a technology that can remove luck from this equation, why should my daughter or anybody else rely on luck when it comes to their limb or their life? And that's really why I joined Myo1, and really our mission here is to eliminate luck from the equation.
It's a fully integrated system to address all the issues that we're talking about. It starts with a sensor technology. We've got a proprietary way of measuring the inflammation that's being built up using pressure and some other clinical science. That data then is able to be streamed out to a mobile system. So the physician, wherever they are in the hospital, can view the data and see which patients are improving and which patients are getting worse and will need an intervention and really get in front of this. So we're turning this disease that's really been treated in a very subjective, variable way to using a vital sign to drive a lot more standardization in the hospital and ultimately improve patients' lives.
Our technology really aims to reduce the variability in care in our health systems, and it does that by a fully integrated technology platform based around a continuous sensor technology. That MEMS-based sensor is implanted into the patient, specifically into the muscle compartment, and it allows then connected continuous readings of the improvement or deterioration of the inflammation inside that compartment. And by knowing and by having that objective data, clinicians, whether it's the attending on call or the nurse that's bedside, to really understand by identifying the trend, what's happening with that patient. And when you're able to change emergent reactive care to predictable objective care, you really can optimize both the patient outcome and the workflow. We know that there's catastrophic complications for patients. And anecdotally, we know that there's individual patients that don't do well. But what we haven't looked at is really its impact on population health, and equally as important, its implications on workflow efficiencies across our health system. So we know that our clinicians are doing the best they possibly can given current technology to manage these conditions. But by managing these conditions, we get extreme variability in care and outcomes. And what that has is a very negative impact on downstream effects of cost, workflow efficiency, time efficiency, and all of that has a tremendously negative impact on the hospital. And that's what we seek to really solve with our technology.
Because we're talking about clinical assessment and a very much less data to go off of, and it's a very medical legal, a big risk from a medical legal perspective. Um, the doctor doesn't really have much to go off of to make a proper diagnosis, and the outcomes related to this issue, which are it can be very catastrophic. An example is Christy. She was actually surfing out on the coast of California, ended up breaking her leg surfing, went to the hospital. The hospital looked at the injury, saw it was a broken leg, started working on it, but then didn't realize that there was an underlying vascular issue at the same time. By the time they clinically diagnosed her, the only option she had was amputation. And so you can imagine how life changing that event can be. And we don't like it doesn't need to be that way. And she actually joined our team and represents us in the LA market to make sure that this doesn't happen again for anyone.
Yeah, so today the current standard of care is based on a clinical diagnosis. And so clinical diagnosis relies on clinical signs, and clinical signs rely on human interpretation. So when you have a clinical diagnosis based on human interpretation, of course our clinicians are doing the absolute best job they can given the current technology. Um, but human interpretation relies on many factors, including experience, availability, and really patient interpretation. And so all of these factors lead to variability in care. And variability in care leads to poor outcomes. And so the current strategies are not working as effectively on a national level as they can be. And that's where our technology comes in. So when you add an objective sign that removes the ambiguity, it removes the human error, and it allows you to view the trend over time, you really can eliminate all of that variability and optimize outcomes.
We span orthopedic, vascular, and cardiovascular applications. In total, it's 1.3 million patients that are needing some sort of limb perfusion management system that don't really have it today. It's not, there's no unified approach. So in orthopedics, there's about 700,000 cases like that. The orthopedic team's using pain to diagnose this disease. Very subjective, lots of variability in care. In vascular, they're using a 6-hour arbitrary intervention rule. And again, the orthopedic team then needs to call in, do a fasciotomy on patients that might not need it, or they're coming in too late. And then on the cardio side, they're having a nurse or a resident go by and check the color and temperature of the toes. So you imagine it's the same problem across multiple specialties, all looking at the same issue, but addressing it in completely different ways. And so we're unifying that with one integrated system. We just got breakthrough market clearance, meaning that our device, we're one of only 125 devices since they started the program to receive that. It's a very, very important milestone from the FDA, recognizing that our product meets a very important need in the market. And we're excited about what that means from us moving forward with CMS reimbursement coming pretty soon.
Yeah, so at MY01, we're really fortunate to have such an incredible technology to work with as a commercial team, such supportive founders, such supportive investors. And it's really incredible to now be able to take this technology and go impact patient lives on a daily basis. What we're looking forward to next is really impacting patients on a population health level. And the way we do that is through medical education and clinical research. And what we're really, really excited about is again, we were founded as an orthopedic trauma company by an orthopedic trauma surgeon. And now, we're really seeing that this technology is not bound to orthopedics. It's actually has really clear indications to not just save limbs, but also save lives. And this can be in the cardiogenic shock patient population. These are patients on some sort of an extracirculatory support system, and they have high risk of acute limb ischemia. We're doing some early work today that we feel may be groundbreaking in this area to provide physicians with early detection of this potentially limb or life-threatening complication for these patients. And if we can give them that early objective warning sign, maybe we can have a real positive impact for those patients. So more to come on this space. We're still laser focused on delivering to the orthopedic population. but we're confident that our expansion to other specialties will just further impact patients around the world.